They're basically rolling the dice with all of our lives and with the future of humanity. And they're going to reach the point where the dice are going to hit the table. And I'm not willing to let that happen. I've got 2 children who I love, who have just as much right to a future and a world as I do and as you do. And it's not necessary that this should happen. We can stop this.
Elon Musk has a 30% chance of extinction. Sam Altman says basically that AGI is the biggest risk to human existence. So what are they doing? They are playing Russian roulette with every human being on Earth without our permission. They're coming into our houses, putting a gun to the head of our children, pulling the trigger, and saying, well, possibly everyone will die. Oops. But possibly we'll get incredibly rich.
What kind of things are you testing for?
The broad category is national security risk.
Can this AI make a weapon of mass destruction?
Specifically, we focus on CBRN, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. And right now we're at the stage of figuring out, can these models help somebody make one of those?
Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has built a doomsday bunker. It's buried and hidden in the Navajo desert. It's stuffed with antibiotics, a hydroponic food system, and weapons. This is the same man racing to build artificial general intelligence, while now telling the world it's perfectly safe. So why prepare for catastrophe? Very few people know.
By the year 2045, AI is going to be 1 billion times smarter than humans. You know what that means? This is comparable to the intelligence of Einstein as compared to a fly. And humanity, while we're still Einstein, is not discussing how are we going to keep the best interest of us, the fly, in Einstein's mind. We're talking through the arrogance of humanity about how we're going to control them, how we're going to box them, how we're going to tripwire them. Good luck with that.
In the future, in a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, 90% of the world's knowledge will likely be generated by AI.
That's crazy.
I know, but it's just fine. I know. And the reason for that is this. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
It's because what difference does it make to me that I'm learning from a textbook that was generated by a bunch of people I didn't know, or written by a book that, from somebody I don't know, to knowledge generated by AI, computers.
With AI, the worst case scenario of everybody gets wiped out is a little bit different for the people making that decision. Because if I'm the CEO of DeepSeek and I make that AI that does wipe out humanity, that's the worst case scenario, and it wasn't avoidable because it was all inevitable, then even though we all got wiped out, I was the one who built the digital god that replaced humanity, and there's
Giant warehouses are popping up across the US, more than 2 every week. They feed AI algorithms, store photos, and answer our questions.
Hey Google.
A data center campus like this can consume as much power and water as an entire city. And for some, these clusters are appearing too close to home.
One of the scariest conversations I was privy to was a friend of mine who's a billionaire in London. He knows the CEO of one of the biggest AI companies in the world, who I can't name. And he said, by the way, what he tells me in private is not what he's saying publicly.
Yeah.
He said to me that what this particular CEO thinks is going to happen with AI is pretty horrific. Mm-hmm. And the CEO of this big AI company is totally cool with it. It's horrific what he thinks is about to happen. And then when I watch this guy do his online talks and give his opinion, he's so nuanced and everything will be fine and he's an AI optimist. Then I heard this scenario at this kitchen table in East London from his friend about what he really thinks, and it was chilling.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten AI to sort of being the revenue producer. We've got it to be the cost center savings. I think AI, as we move down this field and we're heading really quickly into the quantum space, when we get into the quantum space, AI will go from, the cost saver to the revenue creator.
Was I shocked by these humanoid robots that were dancing on stage untethered? Because their movements had become very human-like, and there was a bit of uncanny valley watching these robots dance. But broadly, the bigger thing was Elon talking about there being up to 10 billion humanoid robots, and then talking about some of the applications. He said maybe we won't need prisons because we could make a humanoid robot follow you and make sure you don't commit a crime again.
So, this is Dorothy, our facial scanning rig.
This vault is one of Hollywood's best-kept secrets. It's not safeguarding money or jewels, but something far more valuable. Digital clones of your favorite actors and entertainers.
3, 2, 1.
This is how the entertainment capital is fighting to preserve, protect, and future-proof in the age of artificial intelligence.
So scrunch your face, yeah.
This endeavor made by the Creative Arts Agency. It's one of the largest and most powerful talent agencies in the country, representing thousands of A-listers in entertainment and sports. Every movement,
anger, like rage. So,
3, 2.
And every vocal inflection.
That quick beige fox jumped in the air over each thin dog. Look out, I shout.
Used to create and safely store a digital double the talent owns.
The reason why Netflix is buying Warner Bros. Discovery is not because they want Game of Thrones or they want Superman. It's because of artificial intelligence. Disney announced a couple months ago that they're going to allow users and people to create their own AI-driven TikToks and Reels and content based on their libraries. Netflix does not have a library. Buying Warner Bros. Discovery creates that library. The reason for this post is not necessarily why they're buying it, but it's because even major players like this are getting ready for the AI revolution.
This is a new product that we just announced at the Army's conference yesterday. We've been working on it for years. It's called Eagle Eye. So this is a video feed of what it is like to use the system. So I've got the helmet on here, and then this pair of augmented reality glasses. These sync with the helmet and with these sensors. So I can see where my gun is pointing. I can see where every enemy is. They're tracking where the bad guy is. They're tracking where my guys are, and then watch when they go behind the container. So I can actually see through it and watch. Now they're engaging the guy over there, and he's down. You can all share a view of the world. And by the way, this view that I have, it's shared now with all of the robots as well. Let's see, I'm competing against Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, and Boeing, toe-to-toe with the big guys, saying we are going to build a fighter jet powered by our AI. And guess what? We beat all of them.
China is actually taking a very different approach to AI, and they're focused on narrow, practical applications of AI. So, like, how do we just increase government services? How do we make, education better? How do we embed DeepSeek in the WeChat app? How do we make robotics better and pump GDP? So, like, what China's doing with BYD and making the cheapest electric cars and outcompeting everybody else, that's narrowly applying AI to just pump manufacturing output.
We're going on trial for repeatedly blocking the entrance to OpenAI in an attempt to shut down their superintelligence research, essentially, shut down the operation of the company. Because this is a threat to our lives, to the future of humanity, to the existence of human race. And it's urgent in that we don't know how close we are to kind of going over a cliff. We don't.
The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. The heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.